Good morning, everybody. Billy Jean here from Thank God It's RC. Today we are going to start our multi-layer crawling course for our 124 scale micro crawlers. Behind me I have a couple sheets of 1/2-inch plywood. Over there 8 2x4s, and beside me I got my table saw set up, and I'm going to cut this lumber up into a fashion that's going to maximize the use of the sheet plywood, and I'll give you the dimensions for that later. I'm not going to bore y'all with cutting the material. I'm sure most of y'all know how to use a table saw, so I'm going to get this all cut up and then I'll explain to you what I've done. Okay folks, the first thing I've done is I've taken my 2 sheets of plywood and ripped 2 feet off the end of it to make one 6-foot panel and a 2-foot by 4-foot panel. And then I took the 6-foot panel, ripped it in half lengthwise to make 4 panels that are 6 foot by 2 feet. Then the 2-foot by 4-foot panels, I cut them in thirds lengthwise, 7 7/8 inches wide to account for cut off blade material and whatnot. So basically it's 8 inches. And then I cut 2 of those boards in half lengthwise to make them 2 feet. So I have enough material to make exactly 4 floors that are 6 feet long and 32 inches wide, just like this. And that is going to be the dimensions of each level of the crawling course. So next up, we're going to start ripping some 2x4s in half so we can make 2x2s, because that's going to be plenty strong enough to hold this stuff up. So get to it. Okay, so in this second step, I took my 2x4s, I cut 4 of them at 6 feet, leaving me some 2-foot extras over there. The other 4 2x4s I cut at 29 inches, because 29 plus 3 inches is going to get me my 32 inches wide. These are the 6-foot long pieces for the sides. So I cut these 2x4s in half lengthwise. I cut the 29 inches in half lengthwise. So those are going to make the frames underneath the floors. And then I have the leftover bits of cutting the 29 inches off. And this is going to be the support rails up and down the 4 corners to stack the shelves on for the multi-layer. So yeah, let's clean this mess up and we'll see what the next step is. Alrighty folks, using some 3.5-inch screws, 1 on each corner, I've put the frames together. There are 3 and there's 1. Now if we did our math correctly, we should be able to lay the floor out on there and everything be covered. So let's try it out. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble these up and we'll go from there. So in the center, where this is, where it kind of just floats in the center, we'll put a piece of scrap wood underneath to patch it in. It doesn't have to be super strong because it's only, you know, like a 1-pound truck driving over the thing. So all right, let me get to putting this all together. All right, the bottom layer is now fabricated, ready to start creating our crawling scene and everything. I've added a couple of features to the bottom layer because I wanted some space for these old drawers that I had, so we can store our trucks and everything in them. Right, so I got 2 drawers on the bottom, and then on the other side we have this hollowed out space, which is going to be for a future special episode. I'm not going to let the secret out the bag yet, so we'll just have to keep watching and see what happens with the hole. Alright, so I'm going to continue putting this frame together. Before I get too far along, I'm gonna have to go get some casters to put underneath it, so that we can flip the thing over on its side and put some casters under it to make it mobile. Okay, so I've added a second level, and I've cut a big hole out in one corner for a transition between the levels. Now I need to start thinking about how I'm going to use all my cardboard stuff. I got a whole pile back there, this pile here, and other stuff everywhere. So need to figure out how I'm going to start landscaping this thing and see what it's going to look like. Okay, this is where we're at so far. Now, mind you, this whole thing's going to get covered in either some kind of paper mache or plaster cloth or something, so it'll all be uniform and unique, and then painted and whatnot. So starting out on the first floor, down here we'll have a little ramp to get up that right there, but you go around the obstacles there, you crawl up onto this back platform. You can either go around the pit and come up this side, up through here, up this little platform. There's going to be a suspension bridge going up to this platform. You can crawl up onto the upper deck, and over there there's going to be a mud pit on the other side, and then it's going to go up the mountain here, up, so kind of up all this stuff, and you're going to come out. It's going to come out up here going through the tunnel, right? Then on the tunnel, the other side, you can hook a left and come out here to this area, which isn't done yet. I got this piece here and this kind of corner thing here, so there's going to be another tunnel right here that I haven't quite figured out yet. So you're going to come through the tunnel, out this area back here, over this stuff here, and then under another suspension bridge. It's going to go from here down to here. You get to that one by coming back this way, around there, up the back side. There's going to be a suspension bridge going from here up to this piece, and then crisscrossing over back down to here. So yeah, I think I like it so far. So you can drive from this side and see some stuff, and drive around down here. You drive from this side, there's gonna be the mud pit down in there, and yeah, there's also gonna be another way to come up here. It's maybe a little more difficult to go up this route and then up around the corner instead of using the suspension bridge right here. But yeah, and later on there's gonna be something in here that's gonna prohibit you from entering the area, kind of, sort of. So you'll have to keep watching the videos and see what comes about. All right, so I'm gonna continue on. I may try to run to the hobby store and get some plaster, or I might just order it on Amazon and continue working. But yeah, I think until I get these two levels finished, I'm gonna hold off building another level until I can see how I'm gonna transition between the two. I know I was gonna say that originally I wanted to do like one level in the cardboard, another level of styrofoam, but I just happen to have so much of this cardboard stuff and very little styrofoam, so I'll still do some styrofoam in some areas, but maybe starting more on the third level. But these two levels, since I got so much of this cardboard stuff and it's just so cool looking and works very well, I'm going to use it. But that's the whole thing with projects. You change direction every time. Oh, there's also right here going to be a little ramp going up this way. I don't know if it's going to continue anywhere or if it's just going to dead end up there and you have to go back down. So we'll see. All right, continue on. Okay, So I've kind of figured out what I'm going to do for a tunnel in this corner. It's going to be kind of like a stick tunnel. Trucks can go under it, and then when they come across the bridge right here, they'll crawl up and over it. And then from this ledge right here, it's going to crawl up and into the next level. There's also going to be a bridge coming from this point right here, coming up into the next level up here. So there's going to be two ways to get to the next level. And I've decided that I'm not going to do anything more on this right here. It's going to be a transition into a future second crawling course or something like that, you know. So we'll leave that option open as a gateway into another dimension. I really can't do anything more until I get this thing on wheels and get this first layer covered, these first two layers covered in plaster or something to finalize all the locations here. All this stuff has been tacked down with either screws or hot glue or whatever. So all the sticks and everything will come off for now, and these little tree things will come off. They'll go on later after everything's been plastered. So right now I need to really get this thing up on wheels to make it mobile, casters, and then start plastering what I've done so far. So for today, I'm going to call it a day. This will be end of part 1. Stay tuned for future episodes. This is Billy Jean with Thank God It's RC. Over and out.